Well, folks, America's favorite couple, George and Kellyanne Conway, got into it a little bit on Twitter yesterday. Now, this is the first time that George Conway has ever called out his wife publicly about her endless support for Donald Trump, and here's what happened. Kellyanne Conway retweeted the viral clip of Joe Biden talking about his hairy legs in the pool and the little kids coming up and rubbing them. And she said, "We need Ukraine's help to defeat this guy?" Which, to be honest, look, that's true. You shouldn't need another country's help to defeat Joe Biden, especially when you got that hairy legs corn pop video floating around out there. That's an ad in and of itself. But she tweeted that out, and George Conway quote tweeted her, and he said, "Your boss apparently thought so." Now, that may seem small, it may seem innocuous, but again, this is the first time he has ever actually called her out like that in public about her boss. And that's the funny thing, is that they are both technically right. Kellyanne Conway is right that, yeah, we don't need Ukraine's help to beat this guy, but George Conway is correct because Trump thought they did, and that's why he did what he did. But it makes me wonder, right? This couple, and I hate to speculate like this, but I also love to speculate like this. It makes you wonder what goes on at home, right? I mean, these two have absolutely nothing in common other than the fact that they are both conservatives. They disagree on the president. Conway, George, wants him impeached. Conway, Kellyanne, wants him to stay in power for the rest of existence. George has said to his friends that he believes Kellyanne has become part of the cult. Kellyanne has told reporters, while she tried to say off the record, that everything's great at home, except sometimes they do argue a lot about this. So it makes you wonder, why are these two even still together? And I think the answer is that this is all an act. This is all an act. They know what they're doing. Because, contrary to what we may say sometimes, they're not idiots. They're not. These two are not. Kellyanne Conway is pulling off one of the greatest acts we have seen. And George Conway is right along there with her. And here's what I'm talking about. Whichever way this administration goes, if something happens and the dial gets turned and it turns out amazing, George Conway can ride his wife's coattails and be like, "Hey, you know what? I was wrong. Things are great. I like this guy now." And he gets to be socially accepted back into those conservative circles that may have kicked him out for not supporting Trump. If it goes the way it's going, then Kellyanne Conway at the end of all this can say, "You know what? I was wrong about this and my husband was right," and he can just bring her right back into those circles that she had been excluded from during this. They're playing both sides because they have to play both sides. Because they're a DC power couple. And that's weird to say and a little gross. But that's what they are. So they play both sides of it, and then it doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong because they just bring the other one along with them after it's all over. That's what's going on here. Don't be fooled. Don't extol George Conway as some kind of great hero. He is a horrible human being who wants to pack our federal courts with right-wing zealots. He's not a good guy. And he's not calling out his wife and her boss because he genuinely hates them. He's doing it because it's all part of the Conway con. Thanks for watching, everybody. And don't forget, if you like what you see here, like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. And now you can also become a member of Ring of Fire and get exclusive early access to certain Ring of Fire videos all throughout the week. Just click on the little join button right below the video.